I am live. Today is the 24th of July 2025 and I'm reading The Last Barrier, a Sufi journey. Reshad Feilds is in Turkey. It was published in 1976 and I'm at the last chapter. This is the second reading of chapter 11. He's having a conversation with Hamid. This all plays in Turkey. And he has had many experiences. I think maybe it's time for me to go away and try to absorb some of what I've been given these past few weeks. I feel that I just can't take in any more right now. That is one of the reasons, he replied, but there is another reason as well. You see, there comes a stage on this path when it is necessary to make the sacrifice of dependence on the teacher. The job of the teacher is to lead you to turn, once and for all, to God, from whom everything comes. The teacher you find on earth is just a manifestation of the one who teaches all. But if you become dependent on the form of life, then there is no chance of true understanding. And because it has been necessary for you to go through such a tremendous amount in a very short time, there is the added danger that you might find yourself believing that you were dependent on me. That is a dangerous trap, because really I am not here at all. Never forget, there's only one teacher. Because you gave me your trust, not yet believing in God, I was able for a while to act as your guide. But now you must go on, go back to England, assimilate all the knowledge that you have been given. Then, when you are quite sure that you are ready, it will be your turn to pass on what you have learned, to help spread the knowledge of unity to the world. The great Sufi Sheikh Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi once said, "Listen to God and return to Him, and when you have heard what was revealed to me, then impress it upon your heart. And when you have understood it, the unity of what I have written, dissect it into parts and put it together again. Then reveal it to those that thirst for it, and withhold it not from them. That is the grace which you have received. Therefore transmit it to others. That is why we say devotion to God is studying Him in every aspect. Serving God is teaching what you know of Him to others." Serving God, what more beautiful thing is there to do? The only real joy is to be a servant of God, and that means being awake all the time to the needs of the moment. If we are asleep, then we will never know what is required of us. We cannot have any preconceived ideas of what service means. We never know from one moment to the next what will be asked of us. When you enter the path, you put yourself in the stream of service for the rest of your life. There is no going back. Do not think that you can be of service only when you want to be of service. You must be awake to the needs of the moment. God's needs, not to your own needs. Only then may you be granted the privilege of being of service. It is said that there are only two things that God cannot give us, but that we must give to Him: servility and dependence. When we come to realize our complete dependence on God beyond any concept or explanation of reward, we are given exactly what we need to fulfill our task. It is also said that God has no needs to give Him yours. You have a special link with Mevlana Rumi. That is why you were sent to Konya and why you were received as you were. It is from Konya that your journey begins. There is something that I want to try to explain to you now. Please listen carefully and try to understand. Mevlana was a man who reached union with God, and therefore there was no separation anymore. Mevlana and he, to whom he surrendered, were one. Many of those who follow the mystic path have a glimpse of that, of what this could mean. But complete absorption, complete union is granted only to a very few. As Mevlana reached union, not only was he absorbed completely in divine love, but also he absorbed all those who had gone before him. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? If you were to come into union now, at this moment, then everything that had ever been would be revealed to you, since all that has been is known to him from the beginning. He is love, lover, and beloved. He is the teacher, the pupil, and that which is taught. There is only him to which everything returns. Just realized something. I pray that one day you will truly come to understand, and so will be able to pass on what you know to others. I could see that Hamid was growing tired, and it was impossible for me to absorb at once the immense amounts of knowledge and energy that he was imparting. And yet I knew that he wanted to pass on something more before I left. The next day, abruptly, he switched the topic of conversation once again. You may feel that I am rushing you, that you can't possibly grasp everything that I'm telling you now. But the situation is more urgent than you understand, and I don't know when we will have the chance to be together again. I've told you a little of the second cycle of mankind. I think you understand that we are at the end of one great cycle of history, and are verging on the next. Since evolution does not proceed in a straight line or curve, but goes through very definite cycles, it is possible to know, through understanding of the laws that govern our lives here on earth, something of what we may expect. Just now, as the end of the old cycle approaches, more and more knowledge will be released, so that it may be preserved and carried on into the next cycle. It is not chance that we met as we did and spent time together, or that you were sent to Konya. The knowledge that you have been given must be carried on as the first cycle of man is fulfilled. I cannot say what this will mean, nor can any man, but it is those who have reached the knowledge of their essential unity with God who will forge the way and build a new world. Before this new world can be brought into being, however, it is said that there are to be two confrontations. The first confrontation will be between those who know and those who do not want to know, and the second between those who know and those who will have to know. Hamid, do you mean that there has to be some sort of war? It seems that half the world at least has no desire to know of these things. Look inside yourself. Is it not so that both of these confrontations must take place within? There's a part of you, as there is a part of everyone, that does not want to know, and there are parts that will simply have to know when the time comes, so there is no separation any longer. What appears to be outside of yourself is really inside yourself. There's nothing outside, and so the battle is first of all within your own being. As more and more people go through those two confrontations, it's likely that we will see the battle materialized in the outer world. I don't say that there will or will not be a war, but what I do say, beyond any doubt, is that the whole world will one day be raised to know of its complete dependence on God. The choice that each of us must make is to surrender to God now, today, each moment, not at some nebulous future time when we will no longer be granted the privilege of choosing, but one way or another a confrontation will take place. It may be possible, if enough spiritual work is done in time, for a major disaster to be avoided. I am not the judge, but the second cycle of mankind will come about, and with it the reappearance of the Christ. Some think that he will come again in the form of a man, and some say not. This is not important. What is important for you to know is that we will meet in the knowledge of unity. So whatever the second coming means, and however it happens, it can only come about through the inner, hidden knowledge that underlies all the great religions and which unites us all. The New Age does not mean the formation of any new religion. Far from it. There will be no need anymore for any form of religion. All that will have to go. When you come upon the essence, do you still want the form? When you have drunk of the water of life, do you still need the glass to contain it? It has fulfilled its purpose, and thus something new can come about. All I can say is that what will come about will be nothing that has ever been seen before, not like any of the great civilizations of the past. I am speaking of a completely new way of life, and it is those with knowledge of unity who must forge the way now. It is those people who can make decisions stemming from real knowledge, who will breathe life and order into the new age. But enough for that now. We will take a break and rest for a while. I have ordered a special dinner at the restaurant, as it is to be your last night here, and we can talk further after the meal. In the meantime, why don't you go down to the beach? The sand is warm even though the sea is still cold, and I'm sure you could use a break. I finished this here, the second reading, and we'll read the third one soonest.